If the floor or ceiling below the area of a toilet is wet, and the area around the base of the bowl of a toilet is also wet, odds are good that the wax seal between the bowl and the flange has failed. I'll show you how to replace a wax ring. Let's get started. Turn off the water. Flush to empty the tank. This toilet is in a tight space and it will be awkward and heavy for me to move it as one piece. So I'm going to remove the tank from the bowl. If you desire, you can remove the toilet in one piece. It's up to you. Use a sponge and bucket to remove any excess water from the bottom of the tank. There'll be 2 or 3 bolts that connect the bowl to the tank. You may find wing nuts or nuts on the underside of the bowl. If they're rusty or stuck, I have a video that gives some tips on how to remove rusty stuck bolts. Look in the box below the video for a link. Turn the nuts or wing nuts counterclockwise to remove them. Disconnect the water supply line from the fill valve by turning it counterclockwise. Lift the tank off the bowl. Bail and sponge the water out of the bowl. Next, remove the bowl from the flange. If the bowl is on a tile floor, it may be glued down. Take a putty knife and work it between the bowl and the tile to release the glue. If the bowl is glued to the tile and you don't break the bond, when you pull the toilet up, you could also pull up the tiles. After all the nuts are removed, pick the toilet up. The wax ring on the underside is going to be very sticky. Set it down on newspaper or cardboard. Scrape up the wax seal. Remove any wax from the bottom of the toilet. After the wax is removed from the bottom of the toilet and the flange, it's time to install the new wax ring. I have a new flange because we replaced the cast iron pipe below the toilet. The flange should be about 1/8 to 1/4 inch above the finished floor. If the flange is broken, rusted away, or the wrong height, it's a good idea to fix the flange before reinstalling the toilet. Because my flange is not cracked or damaged and is at the proper height, I'm going to use a standard size wax ring. I invested in solid brass closet bolts and nuts. Solid brass won't rust or rot, and if they do become stuck, they are easy to cut with a hacksaw. Install the new closet bolts onto the flange. Dry fit the toilet to ensure that the bolts are the proper length and that the bolts are positioned correctly on the flange. The directions on the package say to install the wax ring onto the toilet with this side up. I'm going to install mine on top of the flange. People seem to install them either way. Install the toilet onto the flange. Press the bowl down onto the floor. Ensure that the bowl's base rests on the floor. Do not twist the bowl. Ensure that the bowl doesn't rock back and forth. The rocking back and forth motion can cause the wax ring to become misshapen and then cause a leak. Use stainless steel washers or thin pieces of plastic to shim out the base so it doesn't rock. Hand tighten the nuts onto the base until you meet resistance. Then alternately tighten the nuts from side to side. I'm just going to use a socket and hand tighten them just till they're snug. You don't want to make them too tight, otherwise you can break the porcelain. If the bolts are too long, saw them off with a hacksaw. If the tank has been removed from the bowl, check the condition of the tank to bowl gasket. This one is misshapen and becoming brittle, so it needs to be replaced. Place the tank onto the bowl. Alternately tighten down the tank to bowl nuts. Turn them until you meet resistance, and then maybe another half a turn. Again, don't over tighten them. You just need to compress the rubber gaskets. The tank should not rock back and forth. Reconnect the supply line to the fill valve. Don't over tighten it, just hand tight until it meets resistance. Check for leaks. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.